Everybody, this is James, Rattlesnake Defense. I'm up here to show you guys this little folding monstrosity. It's raining, it's been raining, there's thunderstorms rolling through the area. I am on the top of a mountain holding a folding metal rod, so what could possibly go wrong? So this one might be a little unconventional, but a couple things I want to talk to you about. Let's get on it. All right, so first things first, Kel Tec Gen 5, or Gen 3, Gen 5, it's not Glock. Gen 3, Sub2K. This one's in a 5.7x28. I'm sure most of you are familiar with 5.7x28, but little bitty thing here. I got a couple different kinds of ammos, of course. I apologize. I usually walk you guys with me through the first shots, but I got bored while I was waiting on the rain to quit, which apparently it's not, and I went ahead and sighted this in. Couple things right off the bat. 20 round semi-auto, Kel Tec. We've done the Sub2Ks before. The Gen 2 was kind of just an update, but nothing really new. This one does something interesting. So you can put a red dot on it. When you fold it, it comes up, twists over, and locks into place. So that your sight, or red dot, in this case, a Sig Romeo 5, is right there. And when you fold it, you pull it up, throw it back, and then you have this thing. Threaded barrel, a little bit of adjustment on the stock, strange recoil system. But let's get into the weeds. The main thing I wanted to know was, when I got this, was how well is the 5.7 going to perform in this particular platform. I know that the 9mm do pretty good. I've owned a few, I've shot a lot. By the way, completely unrelated, I told you this was going to be unhinged. Kel Tec gets the my vote for one of the funniest tweet X posts of the year. I'll show it here. This is the Smith & Wesson 10mm folding carbine, and this is Kel Tec's meme response under it, because we all know that, well, Smith's been kind of copying off Kel Tec's desk for a little while now. Anyway, first thing I wanted to do, get this sighted in, of course. I did, full discrepancy for everything here, I did have a couple hang-ups shooting off the bench when I was doing some testing. I'm not sure that my shirt wasn't getting hung up in the charging handle, so I'm not going to blame the gun for that necessarily. We'll see how it does when we're freestanding here. It was just failure to eject. Nothing serious. Little trouble getting the red dot sighted in, and then I run some drills. Again, while I was waiting for the rain to stop, because it's not going to, whatever. And what I would do is I'd fire 2 shots, fold the gun up, unfold it, and fire 2 more shots. And I did this 5 or 6, 7 times in a row to see if the act of folding it or unfolding it would cause the gun to walk or become inaccurate. I will say that the point of aim did move a little bit, but the 2 shots I fired, and I was running this test at 25 yards. It wasn't very far, but the 2 shots I fired would be touching each other, and then I could fold it, put it back, and the next 2 shots would be really close, but not exactly on top of the first 2 shots. Again, full transparency, it's raining, so these aren't ideal testing circumstances. But I did confirm that the point of aim doesn't shift very much. I don't think a gun like this is supposed to be a target gun. I don't think accuracy is why they built this. They built this because it is portable. And it is portable. This would be a really good backpack gun. This would be a really good side-by-side gun. I mean, 20 rounds of 5.7 is not nothing. It's compact, but I still feel like I got a hold of it. It's super light. The trigger's not terrible. The recoil is really light, of course. It's 5.7. But all that being said, none of it matters if it's not reliable. And that was the thing I really wanted to come up here and test out. This is post, I've shot the video, James here, where I do all these in like one continuous cut. Let me interject because you're about to hear me talk about some issues with the jam on the first round. And I got on my phone, I got on the internet, I figured some stuff out, and it's just the bolt not coming all the way home where it needs to be, and when it fires, the bolt's coming back and not bringing the shell with it. So I figured out now, if you push forward with a little bit of force when you first load it, I've had a 0% fail rate since. So I had a feeling I was doing something wrong because it was too specific an issue. So I sat around here, I fooled around with it for a minute and finally figured out that it is in fact my fault, and I will admit it, and I don't care. So take that into consideration when you watch the rest of this video. Thank you. Test out. I got 10 rounds loaded. Got some steel out here. Let's see. All right, right there's one drawback. No hold back on the bolt on the last shot. You just click if you're not counting your rounds. For what it's worth, you can't see it. My stuff's right over here. I hit every little swinger I aimed at that time. Of course, it's not far away. This is a rifle. That's pistol distance. But it does have a last hold lock, like an MP5 kind of thing. But this has a lot of potential. Let me know if you want me to come out on a nicer day and do a proper like accuracy review and whatnot, because I really can't under these circumstances. I was trying some 50-yard, 75-yard stuff, and it seems like the rain is not very kind to the 5.7 as far as consistency goes, which, you know, I'm wet, the targets are wet, everything sucks. Da 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 da. But 5.7x28 is becoming a really popular round. If you think that's something for you, you know, that's cool. There's a lot of new handguns, a lot of stuff's coming out in 5.7 that's pretty good. You know, I had, and I'm telling myself a little bit here, but I had like one of those PS90s like back in the early 2000s when nobody knew what 5.7 was and it was stupid expensive. And I kind of got it out of my system early, and then it caught on with the FN handguns, and then Ruger and Smith and everybody else making some version of this. So I'm not super excited about the round per se, but this seems like a really, you know, we talk a lot about survival guns. This has a lot of potential in a survival scenario because it is so portable. And it does pack a pretty big punch for what it is. I mean, let's be blunt. This is infinitely better than a single shot because I can follow up for some reason. It's always the very first round, and I feel like it's something I'm doing with a charging handle, like I'm following it home and not letting it go or something. So I'm not entirely ready to blame the gun yet. All right, post. James here. I've shot a couple hundred rounds to this thing now, goofing off, and it is not behaving the way that it was at first anyway. I don't know if it was a break-in issue, which you guys know I got a problem with. Your gun shouldn't need broke in. It should be ready to go out of the box. If something needs worn or tied down or whatever, they should do it before it leaves the factory. But now I can gingerly let go. And I'm not having any problems at all every time. So chalk it up to a break-in period, whatever, but at first, if you get this, if you're having that same problem, just make sure you're following it home with just a little bit of force. It'll be fun. But it's not even doing it now, so Problem solved itself. Oh, it's got my beard. Oh, shit. No, F. It pulled my beard out. Fail. No, not really. Maybe I should shave. I'm not gonna, but maybe I should. That was me transitioning from like a 35 yard to a 75 yard to 100 yard targets there. It seems to hit them all dead on. I mean, 100 yards, 5.7, this barrel length. I shouldn't have to account for dropping it inside of 100. I don't. I'm hitting what I'm aiming at under not ideal circumstances. I do want to, I'm wondering, and you know, guys, I'm not some kind of stupid expert. I'm just a guy out here trying to tell you what I think about these guns. I get a kick out of Kel Tec because they really come up with some wild stuff all the time. But, you know, when it comes to something like a strange little charging handle like this, I'm not entirely sure I'm not doing something wrong. So, if we just drop it, still a hang up on the very first one. I'm not sure what that is. There's the round. I don't think there's a proper, there's the empty. I don't think there's a proper, improper way to load the magazines. Maybe. Always on the first round. I'm going to be generous to Kel Tec here. That seems like a me problem, not a mechanical problem, because all these have different amounts of rounds loaded into them. So I'm not sure what that's all about. But anyway, let me know. I mean, you see what it is. You guys know what it is. You're familiar with these. Let me know what you think if you want me to do like a real accuracy review. But there is a place in my arsenal for something like this. By the way, unlike the old ones, this does lock. There's a release button. I mean, that's pretty smooth. This is goofy, but I don't know. I don't know what I'm... Maybe it's catching on one of these. Maybe it's catching on something on the way up when I feel like I'm not doing something right. That's why that first round's not ejecting. I try not to look up any other reviews or information on the guns because I don't want to get any kind of bias when I do this. I just come out here cold and test it. So I feel like that's more honest, but let me know. Let me know if you want a thorough test of this is something you're interested in. I don't think these things cost about a Glock. So they're not terrible expensive. Of course, you don't get any sights with it, so you're gonna have to put sights or a red dot or something on the front. But I don't know, I'm having fun. I wish the ammo was cheaper, but I'm having a blast. And that's gotta count for something. So thank you for watching. Sorry about the format. I know it's kind of weird, but you guys are awesome.